Hey everyone, it is Bertram from the Ask a Recruiter video series. Bryan from Weller IT reached out to me recently asking what are the top 3 things that recruiters look for when they're scanning and reviewing candidates for coding management positions. We're going to talk about it today. So the first thing we're usually looking for is your experience. What type of experience do you have as a coding manager? Have you worked directly for a facility? Have you made sure that your internal employees are doing what they're supposed to do? And if you may have a relationship or worked with external vendors to supplement your internal team, if you have vendor-based experience, this means you do not work directly for a healthcare system. You work for a coding vendor, but they have healthcare systems that they're working with. This is a very important role because you're usually client-facing, making sure that everything's going very well at your client. You're making sure that you're always presentable, right? Whether you're in face, whether you're WebEx, whether you are on the phone or in email, and also making sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do for your team. This is a very special skill set as well because you could be held responsible if that client relationship does not go very well. So just doing your best at all times for that. We're also looking at what type of and how many full-time employees or part-time employees you have managed, and if they have been remote or on-site. That definitely matters as well. And the third thing is any special projects. For the special projects, have you gone, let's say, through an Epic implementation? Are you an Epic super user? That would be related to that type of project. Have you gone through massive education, let's say in ICD-10 preparedness? This is very special because sometimes when you're actually going to work for these healthcare systems or for these coding vendors, they have very special projects that they are going to undertake, and you definitely want to make sure that that is reflected in your resume. So the first I would say is your experience, your overall experience, how many full-time employees, and what type of project-based experience you have. The second thing that we're usually looking for are your credentials. May you have an RHIA or RHIT credential. It's becoming a norm right now within HIM for those 2 credentials to be required for any type of management position. So definitely coding management, let's say HIM director or audit management, or if you're looking to do something within compliance to be a senior compliance manager or something like that. It is really becoming a norm right now. So if you're looking at this video and let's say you're a coding manager, or you may have dreams or aspirations to possibly step into management, or if management is a possibility for you one day, now is definitely the best time for you to get your education track in gear so you can have those credentials in the near future. I've seen it happen countless times that folks don't have their credentials, but then when they actually need a job and they go to the job market, all of the positions do require those credentials. So if you're looking to get a management position, and the second thing that we're usually looking for are the RHIA, that is the bachelor's degree program, or the RHIT, and make sure that they're both registered with a HEMA. And the third that I, as a recruiter and also as a manager, have looked for whenever I'm looking to hire employees, and this is definitely something that I've seen from a lot of employers looking to hire, let's say, coding management professionals, as I've placed a few of those most recently, is your career history. And let me explain. When I'm talking about career history, did you go from, let's say, being a coder to an auditor to a lead to then, managing a team? A lot of us are looking to see if your career history makes sense, if that makes sense. And we're looking to see your career progression. We're looking to see the times that you had to change jobs, if it really made sense or if it really matched what your career aspirations would be. A lot of times there are folks that go straight, let's say, from coder to coding management. And I'm not saying that it's not possible, but it's very unusual for that to happen. Or when folks have, let's say, had a lot of jobs as a coder and then all of a sudden they're in a management position. And we're also looking at, let's say, the employment history, how long folks have been at employers. We're trying to see if your career would show any red flags or any signs that we may be cautious about, because let's say if somebody has left an employer within a year, 2 years, for the last 10 years, are they going to do the same thing for this or their next potential employer? That's definitely something, and I would say the last thing that a lot of folks are looking for. So when you're looking at making your resume and perfecting your resume, also make sure that your resume makes sense. Make sure that you have your career progression, and a lot of folks, even depending on the healthcare system or the type of employment you're looking for, they may even ask you to list the reasons why you have left. I'm not saying that that's a requirement, but I'm just saying that it definitely has to make sense. Make sure you have your story correct. And if it's something that, hey, I didn't feel like that was the best job for me, so that's why I, let's say, jumped from being a coder to a coder, that's perfectly okay, but making sure you feel very comfortable discussing that and talking about that so they can make sure that you're the right fit. This is Bertram from the Ask a Recruiter video series. If you have any questions, please list them below, and I'm looking for ideas and suggestions. And thank you again from Bryan at Weller IT for this week's question. Bye-bye.